Here are my top 7 things that reduce the value of a property. Number 1, an ugly yard. Now, when people pull up, if they see an ugly yard, it just kind of sets a bad tone. So, mow the yard, trim up the plants, put some mulch down in the planters. It doesn't cost a lot of money, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to just kind of spruce up the front of your property so that when people pull up, they get a positive impression. Number 2 is closely related, and it is bad exterior paint. If the paint on the outside of the house looks bad, it kind of indicates that the house was not taken good care of, and it'll influence the way people perceive your property. And especially if there's any peeling paint, that's going to be a problem, at least more than likely, if your buyer has an FHA or a VA loan. They are not going to want to see peeling paint on the outside or inside of that property. Number 3, bad neighbors. Nobody wants to live next door to Sanford and Son Salvage. So if you've got bad neighbors that's unsightly, try to camouflage it. Plant a row of vegetation or something that'll block the view of the bad neighbors. Put in a tall fence. Do whatever you can to mitigate the problem. There's not a lot you can do about your neighbors, but you can control the view of it. The next one is kind of related. It's proximity to businesses and facilities. And at the end, I've got some interesting stats for you on that that'll be surprising to you. But for example, if there's a business right behind your house, that's going to reduce the value of your property because there's going to be noise and traffic behind the house. Likewise, if there's any kind of facilities like a pumping station or a sewage treatment facility or anything like that, you can imagine how that's going to affect the perception of the property. Number 5, deferred maintenance. If you've got siding that's falling off or things that just little repair projects that you just never got to, those things will reflect badly on your house because people will assume that the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. Even little things like changing the air filter in your air conditioner can make a difference in people's perception of your house. Believe it or not, people notice those kind of things. So you got some little honeydew projects in there, get them done before you put your property on the market. Number 6, overly personalized interior and exterior. This usually takes the form of really wild paint jobs. It may look gorgeous and it may be a really great designer choice, but keep in mind, when we're selling a property, we're not designing, we're merchandising. So everything needs to be neutral. Everything needs to be acceptable to the widest group of people. Number 7, lots of carpet. Now, it may or may not be practical to change this, but if you've got a lot of carpet in your house, it's going to decrease the value of your house, especially if that carpet is dirty or worn. Dirty and worn carpet is no good. Now, here's some fun statistics that might surprise you. So, for example, if your property's in close proximity to a strip club, it's going to be worth 15% less than it would be if it were located somewhere else. If it's in close proximity to a homeless shelter, that's 13%. And a cemetery, 12%. Likewise, if it's close to a funeral home, that's worth 7% of a decrease in the value of the property. And believe it or not, the number one thing that decreases the value of the property is close proximity to a bad school, which amounts to 22%. Now, some of these things you can do something about and some of them you can't. And the big question that we usually get is, what is worth putting money into? And that varies from house to house. So if you've got some questions, you can even send us a picture. We'll tell you whether or not something is worth putting money into, because some things pay off and some things just don't. And it just depends on how bad it is and what kind of property it is. So feel free to ask us anything. We'll tell you anything you want to know. We don't want you wasting money fixing your house up, but rest assured, the better that house looks, the better money you're going to get. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.